Welcome back to the Stock and Slap Report, guys. Today's video, we already did part one earlier today. We're going to end up doing part two for the main card. Do the 5 fights that are on the main card for you guys. Should be a pretty decent pay-per-view, the order. Michael McDonald following you guys up for the preliminary card with Kyle Noak, Justine Kish, and Scott Holtzman. If you guys listened to the first video, it's a pretty decent preliminary card to be able to watch for free. You should check it out. And without further ado, we'll end up going to the main card. First to start off, Abel Trujillo is fighting against Tony Sims. Should be a fight that is not going to go to distance by any means. I could see Tony Sims. He has a 100% finish rate, 10 KOs and 2 submissions. His fights have went to decision, but whenever it has, he's lost. He's coming off of a loss, matter of fact, to Oliver Alban Mercier. And then Abel Trujillo, he's a barn burner. He turns around, gets his shit done. As you guys could see, whether he wins or loses, more than likely he'll be finished. He's fought against Gleison Tibau on the juice. He turned around and fought Jamie Varner in a slugfest back and forth, getting rocked back and forth, him both and Jamie Varner. Jamie Varner getting starched in the second round. I could see this going one of two ways. I could see Tony Sims pressuring Abel Trujillo towards the second, mid-second, late third round, turn around and get a stoppage victory after Abel gets gassed. Or I could see Abel coming out, pushing the pace, and getting that TKO victory in round one. Either way it goes, as I said, I don't see it going the distance by any means. I see the more likely outcome of having Abel stopping Tony Sims. Abel's fought in the more stiffer competition, and Tony Sims fighting Steve Montgomery. He got rocked once or twice in that fight too, and Steve Montgomery, in my opinion, is on the lower tier of the UFC caliber fighters. So again, my pick, I'm gonna have to go with Abel Trujillo by finish of whatever round it happens. Later rounds are going to end up more than likely going towards Sims, though, because Abel has a really bad tendency to gas out during fights. Following that fight up, you got Brian Ortega fighting against Diego Brandao. That's one hell of a fight. Diego Brandao is your typical journeyman. He's inconsistent a little bit, but the shows that he does put on whenever he wins is quite impressive against Katsunori Kikuno. He fought against Dennis Bermudez to win the Ultimate Fighter with that slick-ass armbar. But Brian Ortega is no joke. As I said in the preliminary video earlier, I feel like he's one to watch out for in 2016. He's a good fighter. He has really, really good jiu-jitsu. As you could see in his last fight, he can overcome adversity whenever he fought Thiago Tavares. He was losing, in my opinion, the first 2 rounds. And then that third round, he just went for broke, was able to clip him on the feet, drop him on his ass, and just keep pounding him out. I do see Brian Ortega taking this victory. Diego Brandao has only been finished once by submission, but I feel like there's a good chance that he'll end up getting caught on the feet because he lets himself open. He's very aggressive on the feet, and I feel like it's going to be a perfect opportunity for Brian Ortega to get a counter punch on him, knock him on his ass, and then from there be able to fish for a submission any way he wants to, possibly a rear naked choke. But Brian Ortega is definitely the one to watch out for in the featherweight division 2016. Mark my words. Middle fight, got to go with Albert Tumenov fighting against Larkin. Both of them, I'd want to say, are similar style of fighting. They both go for the knockout, and they both have heavy, heavy ass hands. But with Larkin, I feel like he gets himself a little bit open to shots more. Albert Tumenov is more of the patient, stick back a little bit, wait for you to throw your shot so he can throw his 2 to 3 shots. He has a beautiful right overhand, and his head kick that he's landed on both Matt Dwyer and on Alan Joe Blaine is a force to be reckoned with. He's a really good ass welterweight that we need to watch out for. His only loss in the UFC is by split decision to Yuri Alcatraz's brother. I feel like he's a all around well rounded good fighter. Not saying Lawrence Larkin isn't, but I feel like he's taken a little bit too much damage throughout his career. He's been knocked out viciously a couple times, and I feel like Tumetov just has the skills and the patience and the all around athleticism and explosiveness to put Lorenz Larkin on his butt, and I feel like that's exactly what he's going to do. I feel that he will end up clipping him in the late first, early second round and taking away that TKO victory. With the co-main event, we got Stipe Miocic fighting against Andre Arlovski. We got the young, hungry lion turning around and fighting against this old, hungry lion that has a resurgence. Stipe Miocic is no joke. He's only lost twice in the UFC, one of them being strictly debatable, in my opinion, when he fought Junior Dos Santos. I had him winning that fight 3 rounds to 2. And with him being able to fight against Andre Arlovski right now, in my opinion, this fight is the shot at the #1 contendership. Andre Arlovski has been on a tear. He's beaten Frank Mir, not decisively, but not in the best fashion possible. He turned around and knocked out non-TRT Bigfoot with 4 or 5 punches thrown in the whole entire fight. And those hammer fists were gruesome as well. And then you're turning around and watching him beat the hell out of Travis Brown whenever everybody thought that Travis was going to take that fight with no problem whatsoever. Stipe Miocic brutalizing Mark Hunt for 5 rounds in his home country. I mean, this has been a back and forth fight that I've been bouncing around towards, but I'm going to have to go with the younger lion, Stipe. I feel like his boxing is just a little bit too crisp. A lot of people underestimate his boxing in the heavyweight division. I feel like he's learned from this Stefan Struve fight from all the way back in the day when he lost by TKO. He just got caught up, especially with a taller, lengthier fighter. The one thing that I will give Andre over Stipe, in my opinion, is Andre has a little bit more punching power. So if he decides to stand in the pocket with him, Andre Arlovski has a little bit of a better chance to be able to clip him and put him down. But they're heavyweights. Anything can happen. So we just got to watch out for Stipe Miocic. He'll be able to possibly use his wrestling, even though Arlovski's wrestling defense has been pretty impeccable within the past years that we've seen him fight in the UFC and outside of the UFC as well. This resurgence that Andre has been on has just been unbelievable. You cannot say enough about it. Like, he's been on a 3 to 4 fight win streak. He's turned around and done well. The only person that he's lost to within the past couple years was Anthony Johnson, and that was in World Series of Fighting. The Brendan Schaub fight was questionable. People thought Brendan won. People thought Andre won. I feel like it was a sleeper in itself and barely remember it unless I look it up statistically for right now. All in all, I feel like Miocic is going to be able to put Andre Arlovski down. This is Miocic, especially with that Junior Dos Santos fight. I feel like he won it, as I said, and if it wasn't for him losing that fight, I feel like he would have already got a title shot, and the stars just didn't align up for him at that time. Now I feel like it's his time. I feel like he'll end up finishing Andre Arlovski in the late first round, catching him, and it's going to be a hell of a back and forth fight. But Stipe will overcome adversity a little bit and put him down. Then we're on to the main event, ladies and gentlemen. We got Carlos Condit taking on our welterweight champion of the world, Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler, again, talk about resurgence. This is fighter of the year last year, wins the belt, beats Johnny Hendricks, turns around and fought Johnny Hendricks before that and lost, got a rematch. Just unbelievable. Great fights, always puts on a performance, looks to take your head off. Like he says, he's not playing around, he's here to stay. And with him fighting Carlos Condit, it's going to be one hell of a matchup, and it's going to be a good test to see if he's really here to stay. That Rory McDonald rematch was unbelievable, and in my opinion, fight of the year for last year. But looking at Robbie Lawler and his demeanor, his attitude, I feel like it only gets better from here. Carlos is going to put one hell of a test up against him. They're going to go back and forth. I feel like Carlos will be able to turn around and have his moments throughout the fight, just like Rory McDonald did. But somehow, some way, man, I cannot pick against Robbie Lawler by any means. He's just, I feel like it's more of a picking with my heart than picking with my mind type of situation. I've watched him growing up. I think he's one of, hands down, the best fighters that is in the UFC right now all around. He has amazing heart, amazing tenacity, great striking on the feet, almost picture perfect takedown defense. The only thing that people have seen that slide back and forth on him is the submission defense that he has and how he's been tapped out a couple times. And that's not the best thing to have against Carlos Condit, but I feel like he'll be able to get the takedown on Carlos. Carlos will be on his back. He'll try for submission attempts, not quite be able to get him, maybe put him in a little bit of danger, but somehow, some way, again, I feel like Lawler's just going to be able to get out of it, scramble, take whenever he gets him down to the ground, he'll be able to get up whenever he wants to. And I feel like those takedowns will end up being the deciding factor throughout the fight. Lawler's going to know when to have a perfect level change, shoot in for that takedown, get him down, and I think it's going to end up going to decision. I haven't seen Carlos Condit get rocked on the feet before. I felt like it was going to happen during the Nick Diaz fight. That was a fight that we were all anticipating to be amazing. And if you're a technical MMA fan, it was something that you thoroughly enjoyed. But we were all looking forward to that brawl, nonstop action, going back and forth with him and Nick. And all we seen was Carlos try to counter him and circle around the cage. I hope that's not something that we see in this fight coming up. But I feel like Lawler's going to end up making it his fight, push the pace, and show why he's the champion. I think he'll end up winning 48-47 across the boards and get a couple rounds out because of those takedowns. I feel like Lawler will end up having to overcome adversity, get rocked a couple times, just like the Rory McDonald fight. But all in all, we're in for a treat, and I feel like this is going to end up being a candidate for Fight of the Year, whether it goes 2 rounds or 5 rounds. But I gave my prediction. I feel like it's going to go to decision. It's going to be a great fight. And the stock on Carlos Condit will not go down from this fight. It's going to be back and forth, much respect given to each one another, and it's going to be one hell of a fight. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Travis, I hope you're looking forward to it as well. I just want to thank you guys to turn around and tune into this. You guys, like I said, we're going to turn around and have a lot more videos coming out. Consistency is key. We're trying to turn around and give all of our predictions for fight nights, Fox, pay-per-views, you name it. We're just trying to give our opinions and just go with the flow. So again, thank you very much for tuning in. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave your likes, comments, and any type of opinionated questions or anything like that below, and we will get back to each and every one of them. Again, like I said, thank you very much, guys, and we hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy the fights, and we'll be hearing from you on Monday. Fingers.